ready to smash, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, they're firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. And it feel like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweepers. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, find it. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them, boy, what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried. I got Ray for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. You PK top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line into a damn tank. I got chopper stash in that attic like they had Frank. They had that shit on lock until I snapped on them like ball cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See I'm throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show the skills how I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried. I got Ray for real. Yeah. Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man shit, nigga. They turn their head over, nigga. I read what Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Nigga think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert, another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't thinking, this an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spin, I ain't listening, is in fact the fear. If revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jacob. So time war, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't be too daddy, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young pay. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light. It ain't on who got the gun, it's on who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitch about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow side, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy. Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with fear. Taking over, nigga. Yeah. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Yeah. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm repped out, tell them watch your mouth. You know we gon' bend your block. I'ma walk in time bomb. I go viral. You niggas like TikTok, yeah. This ain't what you want. Tell them throw in the towel. We make niggas hit the clock. And what I told fire rain brimstone. They gon' think that you live a lie. We ain't got no picks. We want it all. We gon' make you pick a spot. We knocking on the door, so let us in. You know we gon' pick the locks. We in the field for real. Every day while y'all just say watch. We making enemies. Our foot stores run no nothing by the op. It take one try when I rock out. I'm like David when I sling shots. I'm putting attachments on everything. Y'all want me connected dot. This drum got 50 unreleased hits. You don't want to be the next to drop. I put them in a box and make that shit double wood. You don't want to be the next to flop. Yeah. Niggas feeling themselves. Get a shovel, tell them to dig the plot. Can't.
Remember. Bring me on. Yeah, clap it up. Y'all know how we do. We are live from ISUPK headquarters. Once again, Monday night history class. Give that a hand. I know how we do, man. Yahweh Shema Shabaraka, thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shema Allah thumb Bahashim Yahshua to the sisters. I, of course, am the mountain of the Most High Priest and Officer Harya Allah in the building once again for Monday night history class. Ooh, we. Don't we always love Monday night history class? How else would we ever know how we have gotten in such terrible times? How else would we be able to understand our current condition unless we examine history? I'm in the building with Priest Officer Sha'al. Give him a hand. We also got Priest and Officer Shayal in the building. Give him a hand.
Damn right.
Damn right, man. It's going down. Somebody tell me what today's date is, Baba Kashar.
Today's date is September 11th.
What? Say it again.
Today's date is September 11th.
What?
September 11th.
Today's date is September 11th here in New York City. Give that a hand. Damn right, man. September 11th, what a horrible and tragic event to happen here on American soil. September 11th, 2001, what a horrifying event to happen here on American soil and continue to happen in the years to follow. September 11, 2001, what such horrible things to happen to blacks and Hispanics here in the United States of America. We are, of course, talking about the blacks and Hispanics that were found under the World Trade Center in a mass grave during the excavation after 9/11. Let's get that up on the screen, Baba Kashar. But before we get that, let us set it off with our bedrock verse every Monday night, Deuteronomy 32:7. Let's do it. Tonight, black man, Hispanic man, you're going to understand that the nation you currently reside in is not the nation you belong to. The nation you currently reside in is a nation that resents you, is a nation that hates you. And regardless of who this nation says they're at war with, you can always 100% depend on them always being at war with you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old.
Say it again.
Remember the days of old.
Say it again.
Remember the days of old.
How the hell could we ever possibly mourn for the non-Israelite victims of 9/11 when we can't even begin to mourn for the original victims of terror that was found in the mass slave graves under the goddamn World Trade Center?
Right.
We have to remember the days of old. Keep going.
Consider the years of many generations.
We must consider the years of many generations. We must understand the city that we're in and how the world's finance district originally started in the first place. We have to consider the years of many generations. Keep going.
Ask thy father.
Ask who?
Thy father.
Keep going.
And he will show thee.
Keep going.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Your elders will certainly tell you. Although our oppressor tried his best to cover up this act of terrorism, the cries of our ancestors told us from the ground out of the act of terrorism that happened on 9/11. Let's get a little bit of that article, Baba Kashab.
Articles entitled Ground Zero's Slave Graves. The outrage about the Ground Zero Mosque has turned very ugly, as this video of the recent protest shows. People are calling Muhammad a pig. A New York City cab driver was stabbed today after his passenger asked him if he was Muslim.
Right. What are they talking about here? They're talking about the mosque that was built, what was it, a few years ago downtown? It's the most elaborate thing you could see. You know, keep going.
But I find the righteous outrage of those contending the former World Trade Center site is hallowed ground.
It's what?
Hallowed ground.
It's what?
Hallowed ground.
Keep going.
Amusing, because they have no idea just how right they are.
Right. Right. The Muslims. So our oppressor who took this land from our brothers and sisters, the Native American Indians, established their colony here in America. And now the Muslims want to come and build a mosque on this land. They're saying, no, they shouldn't be able to do that because this is hallowed land. Keep going.
Before the World Trade Center was even designed, with Islamic architectural elements, incidentally,
right,
the ground was indeed sacrosanct. The bones of some 20,000 African slaves.
How many?
20,000 are buried 25 feet below Lower Manhattan. As at least 10% of West African slaves in America were Muslims, it's not out of bounds to extrapolate that Ground Zero itself was built on the bones of at least a few Muslim slaves.
Listen to that. Listen, man. And when they speak about this Muslims or whatever the case is, and when they use the term African, our viewers should know they are speaking about Israelites from the tribe of Judah,
right,
and from other tribes as well, man. These are our brothers and sisters that was brought over here on slave ships. Get me Deuteronomy 28 and 68. The bones of the brothers found under the ground are Israelites. Let's prove it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
What does that word Egypt mean?
Bondage.
Bondage. The Most High is going to bring us again into bondage. Keep going.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
While we're in this bondage, we're not going to see our homeland. Keep going.
And there ye shall be sold.
We shall be what?
Sold.
We shall be what?
Sold.
Keep going.
Unto your enemies.
Unto who?
Your enemies.
Keep going.
For bondmen.
Who?
Bondmen.
Keep going.
And bondwomen.
Bondmen and bondwomen is who they found under the World Trade Center. Keep going.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall redeem us. Go back up to bring thee into Egypt again. One more time. Read it from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Into bondage.
Again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
He was going to bring us into bondage with ships. Let's go back to that article. Let's read a little bit more on that.
For some time, activists, historians, and city officials have been working together to excavate and preserve the bones of the slaves buried under present-day Lower Manhattan. A recent excavation of a 14,000 square foot section of the 6-acre burial ground found that 92% of the 419 skeletons were of African descent and 40% were children under 12.
Damn.
40%
40% were children under 12.
I have a map of the site if you want that.
Unbelievable. Keep going a little bit more.
The bones of the 419 slaves were eventually reinterred. African slaves couldn't be buried in New York City itself, so they were put to rest along the city's then northern border near present-day Chambers Street.
Right.
The exact borders of the burial ground are fuzzy, and experts say that without test digs, they won't be able to tell how far it extends. The area they've excavated so far ends just a block or two from ground zero. But with the huge number of African slaves that lived and died in New Amsterdam, I find it hard to believe the burial grounds didn't extend further.
I believe they most certainly did as well.
At any rate, some of the slaves' belongings were definitely at ground zero. About 100 boxes of artifacts from the African graves were stored at 6 World Trade Center, which was crushed by the North Tower on 9/11. But thankfully, archivists were able to recover them. A few of the items were strings of blue beads found buried with the slaves, which some think could be Islamic prayer beads.
Right. Let me ask you something. Why didn't they go through the effort of returning the property of the slain slaves to the children of those slaves?
Right.
Like you would think our oppressor would have enough, compassion, which we know he doesn't,
Right.
to release, at least, return this property or the proceeds of it to help the children of these slain slaves. You could take that off. I wanted you to go down to where they actually discovered this ship. But ultimately, what we're seeing here, black man, Hispanic man, is we've come upon a day that our oppressor has taught the entire nation to never forget. We've been trained that on 9/11, we never ever forget the tragedies that happened right downtown here in New York City. And I agree with that. We should never forget some of the tragedies that happened downtown in New York City, the first of which being the discovery of a mass grave of all of our brothers and sisters at the very site where they were sold and used and exchanged as property and value and monetary value.
Right.
Black man, the finance center of the world was built off the blood, sweat, tears, and bones of our ancestors, literally. This is not figuratively. This is literally. Maybe Deuteronomy 28 and 44.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 44. He shall lend to thee.
Say it again.
He shall lend to thee.
Say it again.
He shall lend to thee.
Black man, when you look at that mass grave under the World Trade Center that was discovered, right down the block from the site of 9/11, you are looking at buried stock. You are looking at the foundation on which the World Finance Center was built, off of the bones of our ancestors, literally. Downtown is the single dynamic finance center in the world. known as Wall Street, where the New York Stock Exchange is located. Many, many different firms and banks. Some of the largest banks in the world are located right here in New York City, along with some of the richest people in the world, due to the practice of lending. Read it again.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
How did they get Wall Street? Say it again.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
How did they get all of those banks? Say it again.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Goldman Sachs. Say it again.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Lehman Brothers, Bank of America, every goddamn bank in the world that is located right downtown in New York City. Say it again.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Black man, what is lending? A person cannot lend you something they don't have. There has to be a foundation on which we can lend in order to collect money at interest. How did these original banks start? You got people who were goldsmiths, who had safes, who people would give them their gold in order to hold in their safe for security purposes. It is this very gold, the foundation of gold, that they have on deposit, which allows them to loan out fiat currency based on that gold. Let me ask you, black man, what was the gold Wall Street was built on? What was the foundation? What was the value used to loan out the fiat currency, which then created the greatest financial market in the world? What was the gold? The gold is located right in that burial ground under the World Trade Center. You and I was the gold. And by our ancestors being the foundation, being the units of value on which our oppressor can then take out loans to build industries and lend out money to collect on interest, this is what built America. Our ancestors had to die and be buried in a mass grave under the World Trade Center so that our oppressor can do what? Read it again.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
So he can lend to us, and we won't be able to lend to him. Black man, when you think about it along those lines, any tragedy that happens here in New York City or the world around is our tragedy. Like yesterday on Let It Be Known, man, I went around the room and I asked all the brothers in the room, what is their favorite 9/11 conspiracy? Because you can't bring up 9/11 without bringing up every goddamn conspiracy anybody can come up with. I remember the days of Alex Jones, before they bankrupt them over the Sandy Hook business. I remember, they went up there every day and uncovered every goddamn conspiracy possible. Most of them turned out to be true. But I'm going to go around the room today. Officer, what's your favorite 9/11 conspiracy?
I remember they said they were doing that. They got like thousands of the small hats that didn't go to work that day.
Right.
Did they know? Could they possibly know that was going to happen?
Right. I've heard that too. What the officers say is that here in New York, there was a lot of rumors around the time of 9/11 that the Jewish man had the heads up.
Right.
So he ain't going to work that day. Right. I also heard that there was an entire daycare in the World Trade Center that was predominantly Amalek, and they closed that down for the day. So I've heard that as well. What about you, officer?
There's people that swear that there was no actual plane that hit the building.
Right, I've heard that as well. I've heard people say it was missiles. I heard people say it wasn't a plane. I've heard a lot of that as well. What about you, sir? Slakia, Building 7. Give him a hand. Building 7. Goddamn. I love me a good Building 7 conspiracy. It's the simplest goddamn thing you can talk about. There's only 2 goddamn planes and 3 buildings. Like, it's the simplest second grade riddle you can come up with. Goddamn. One plane knocks this building down. Another plane knocks this building down. It's no more goddamn planes. How does this building just fall? The conspiracy surrounding Building 7, we could be here all night. My favorite conspiracy theory is these goddamn black boxes. Like in the history of American aviation, this is the most indestructible device ever devised. They've never been not recovered. They're designed to survive a plane crash. 4 of them went missing on the same goddamn day. Like, what are the chances of that? Yet they found a goddamn passport from some poor Ishmaelite right downtown on goddamn John Street. I found the evidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, the stupidest thing you could come up with. A lot of these 9/11 things, man. 9/11 was a life-changing day for blacks and Hispanics. Let me tell you something, man. There was a time during the 90s when black people really had a little hope there. Remember them MC Hammer years? Know what I'm saying? We was going back to college. Know what I mean? Bill Cosby was leading the way. He's locked up for goddamn rape. But there was a period of time during the 90s, those kid and play years, when everything was going to be all right. Know what I'm saying? Rodney King thing, sure. But we was a little optimistic there. Oprah was on TV. Urkel was on TV. It seemed like everything was going to be all right there for a minute. Goddamn 9/11 came around. Like, black people ain't know nothing about terrorism until 9/11. Like the Oklahoma City bombing, we ain't know what the hell that was about. Timothy McVeigh was dead by the time we figure out what the hell even happened in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? 9/11 brought us all to the reality of how devious our oppressor in conjunction with the nations around us really is. 9/11 is the perfect opportunity. Give me Psalms 83. It's the perfect opportunity to see how even in the midst of absolute war and chaos, our enemies are confederate against us. Like, goddamn, I thought this was between the Jewish man and the Arab man, America and Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda. I thought it was between them. How come every single goddamn time America gets into a beef, blacks and Hispanics always end up getting the short end of the stick?
Right.
Read what you got.
Psalms chapter 83. Verse.
Oh, you can start verse 1.
Verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God.
Keep going.
Hold not thy peace.
Keep going.
And be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Right.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. 9/11 was some of the most craftiest counsel you can take against our people. I mean, goddamn, black man, do you realize that in order for the United States of America to even participate in warfare, they have to get your whole entire goddamn neighborhood high on crack and heroin? Like, do you realize in the midst of living in the United States of America, working and paying taxes, your country, a country that you vote and pay taxes in and raise your children in and put all of your hopes and dreams in, was at war with a country, dropping bombs on that country while secretly dealing with them to put heroin in your goddamn neighborhood.
Right.
Our oppressor is dropping bombs on the Arabic man's children and at the same goddamn time bringing him right into your neighborhood to earn a living. There are people on your block working in that goddamn Kennedy Fried Chicken that was a goddamn enemy combatant in Afghanistan. His goddamn bulletproof vest is behind the goddamn beef patty warmer. You sitting here thinking that the white man is at war with the Arabic man. The white man is at war with you.
Right.
They went over to Afghanistan and got every single goddamn poppy seed they can find and brought it right over here and led to what we refer to today as the opioid epidemic. We go out on 125th Street every single Saturday and teach our people. And while teaching our people, we have to watch the devastation of the war in Afghanistan. Black man, Hispanic man, the war in Afghanistan never existed. It was simply a continuation of the war in Harlem, the war in Los Angeles, the war in Atlanta, the war in Detroit, the war in Jackson, Mississippi. Everywhere where you find our people and you find our people oppressed, it is because our oppressor has waged a war on us. Read that again from the top, Salaki, in Deuteronomy 28, Baba Kashar. We see that our enemies were Confederate. Our enemies came together. Here you have a situation in 9/11 in which a Jewish man owned the Twin Towers and took out a huge insurance policy on it weeks before the towers fell. Then we have him pointing the finger at a man who can't nobody find while simultaneously telling us we're going to go to war with a completely different man. Like, do y'all remember that? 2003, 2004? I remember that. I remember watching TV and the white man saying, Osama bin Laden did this. And then in the next breath, we're going after Saddam. Like, whoa, that don't add up. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? Read that one more time for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
What are we reading about here, black man? We are reading about the single most devastating curse in all the curses, in my opinion. This is the curse of poverty. All bad things. Yo, General Muhammad said something the other night, man. I mean, listen, every goddamn thing General Muhammad says, is mind-blowing. You know what I'm saying? But this particular thing stuck out to me. General Muhammad said, listen, every goddamn decision you make in your life is based on poverty. And it is. Who you have sex with, where you live, where you work. There's not a single decision in your life that poverty isn't the primary consideration. It always is. If you had access to unlimited money, you would make completely different choices in life. You really would, man. And it's so true, man. It is so true. This poverty is the most devastating of all curses. It is from this poverty that the sins of our people explode out of necessity, out of all sorts of stuff, man. It's a horrible thing, man. It's a horrible thing. And it is because of this poverty that we are constantly being taken advantage of. But at the same time, we're constantly being taken advantage of because of this poverty. And so it is an ongoing cycle. It's literally an ongoing cycle. This is why, you know what I'm saying, when I went over my white collar crime series, we always have to remember, man, that what we're speaking about here in Deuteronomy 28 and 44 is the beginning of white collar crime. It's the beginning of this act of predatory lending. This doesn't stop. It is a snowballing effect. Anybody that gets ahead in the lending game is going to always ultimately be the winner. It's always going to work out like that, man. You have a group of people, forget about lending to you. There's a group of people more powerful than the U.S. government. They print money and lend it to the government and to all the governments of the world. You know, your government means nothing to them. And that's why black people are always so mixed up when it comes to things about like 9/11. Like, you look at TV and you think you watching the original narrative, you don't understand whose side is on who. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so goddamn confusing how, you know, our oppressor is telling you that a Arabic man is, you know, the most horrible person in the world, and we should, you know, it's the most horrible thing in the world that they did. And you walk outside your building and it's a bunch of goddamn black men up against the wall being stopped and frisked. 9/11 happened. I didn't see one goddamn prayer rug be snatched from under a goddamn Arabic man and have him searched. It never happened. They were never suspects. They were never, you know, subjected to the discrimination and the horrors that we are and were every single day in this disgusting land, man. So we see that. And, you know, we see that with the Iran-Contra affair as well, which is a very similar affair. It's so crazy because both things are really interconnected. Both things are really interconnected. What is happening during the Iran-Contra affair? The United States is selling cocaine to black people in order to fund Contras. And they're selling cocaine and getting it in order to fund a movement over in Iran to overthrow the Iranian government, which then led to them doing what? Supporting Saddam Hussein, giving him every single goddamn weapon he needs to defeat Iran. Right. They come back years later, Saddam Hussein's the problem now. He's taking all the goddamn weapons we gave him and using them to, you know, not do what we want him to do, which is not go in Kuwait and mess with our goddamn oil interests. So we're going to go over there and bomb every goddamn thing we can. We can't kill them. So now we got to go back in 2003 and kill every single goddamn young soldier that the United States could bring up over in the desert against people who don't even got no goddamn technology. The United States lost that Iraqi war. And they lost the Afghanistan war. They lost it in such a horrible way that they are responsible for ISIS. You know, ISIS is the result of people that just goddamn fed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were just goddamn fed up with you. Afghanistan war was the longest war in the history of the United States, longer than Vietnam. Longer than Vietnam. Who were the victims of Vietnam? Most of them are dead now, but they used to all be out here in the streets of Harlem doing what? Heroin. Who are the victims of the Afghanistan war? The goddamn Taliban is in power. The goddamn Taliban is richer than they've ever been.
They're over there chilling.
Right. Our brothers are strung out here in Harlem on the very heroin the Taliban grows. We are always the victims of our oppressors' war and our oppressors' aggression on this earth, man. And that could be seen in every single war. That could be seen in every single situation, man. We are the food that allows this country to operate.
Right.
Let me get anybody got anything they wanna add?
Now, it was so heavy what you were saying, though, because imagine growing up in that place with that military occupation there. You grow up and all you see everywhere are these U.S. soldiers, and you know what they're doing to your people. Of course, they created new groups like ISIS.
Hell yeah. Of course. Of course. Let me get Isaiah 59:8, Baba Kashar. One thing we got to understand about our oppressor, man, is that our oppressor is a warmonger. And regardless of who he says he's at war with, he's really at war with God. Because regardless of who he's at war with, he ultimately aims to hurt and destroy God's chosen people. You know? I mean, just think about it, Black Man. Every single war that the United States has ever been involved in brought the promise of peace and freedom to our people and failed every time. The United States started the Revolutionary War because they were sick and tired of being oppressed by the British. And so they fought against them while simultaneously oppressing us.
Right.
Black people fought and died during the Civil War, helped save the Union, and immediately afterwards had to deal with 100 goddamn years of lynching. You know?
Fought in World War I, came back just to have white people attack them for walking around in uniform.
Give him a hand, man. Give him a hand. Red Summer, man, fought in World War I just to come back and be attacked in your own goddamn quote unquote homeland. We are always the victims, man. Vietnam, we're the victims. Korea, we're the victims. Our people are always the victims. In all cases, our oppressor promised us peace. In the Revolutionary War, the promise of peace. The Civil War, the promise of peace. Vietnam, communism is going to spread. The Cold War. We need these things to protect you. 9/11 and the war on terror was a war to bring peace, no? Ronald Reagan, the war on drugs, was that not a war to bring peace to the hood? Allegedly, right? I mean, brother, you've been around for a little while, right? Has your hood been more peaceful as a result of the war on drugs? That's a lie. There's never any peace without our oppressor. Read what you got.
Isaiah chapter 59, verse 8. The way of peace they know not.
Say it again.
The way of peace they know not.
Say it again.
The way of peace they know not.
Next week, our oppressor is going to come out in the news and say it's time to go to war with somebody. And we need to defeat them, because if we don't, we're not going to have peace here in America. We have to destroy this threat. Black people, we need your children to enlist in the Army, in the Navy, in the Marines, in the Air Force, the Coast Guard. We need you in factories. We need all of them 2 million brothers in jail to convert the factories and begin to manufacture ammunition and guns and tanks and everything, because we must have peace. What did the Bible say?
The way of peace they know not.
They don't even know peace. It's impossible. The war on terror was all about peace. The war on terror has been about snooping on every goddamn word I say. From the war on terror, we got the NSA.
Right.
And the TSA. Goddamn. We got the essays. TikTok is listening to every goddamn word I'm saying right now. You know? Like I have become. Listen, the other night, me and my wife is in the house. You know how you watching TV and then go to a little point where everything get quiet, like in between the commercials or whatever. We hearing. I'm jumping around like, what? We tearing up the whole goddamn house. They got us bugged. You know what I'm saying? Like, truth of the matter is, they don't have to have us bugged. This ain't the goddamn 70s, all right? We've all bugged ourselves.
Right.
I'm bugged. I'm bugged out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important, man, to maintain integrity and come in this truth, man. The ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, man. And here we taught to speak from the Bible, man, and can't nobody refute that. We are empowered by the words of our ancestors out of the Bible because can't nobody refute that. Can't nobody defeat that. Give Captain Tazariak a hand. Every single day I walk around, man, I walk with the boldness of Captain Tazariak.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? I know that my captain is undefeated. I might not know all the scriptures, but I know he know them. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with him.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? Undefeated, black man. We are empowered by this. We are encouraged by this. You got to come in here, man, and get this, man. Get this strength. This strength is in this Bible. There's going to come a day, man, where your face and your words on social media and the internet could be taken so twisted. Listen, we just talked about Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones was the #1 First Amendment advocate, remember? Remember that? The First Amendment rights. I can say whatever I want. They took every goddamn dime from him for saying whatever he wants.
Right.
We're trained to speak the words of our ancestors out of the Bible. We're trained to speak the words of the Most High out of the Bible. Can't nobody refute that.
Damn right.
Can't nobody misconstrue that. 9/11 was a horrible thing, man. And the conspiracies that came about from 9/11, although it will take a goddamn, Sentinel AI to figure out every goddamn thing that happened that day, all the weird stuff that happened. I still can't get over that Pennsylvania plane crash and forget about the Pentagon. You know what I'm saying? Just the weirdest stuff ever. The fact that they took down every goddamn thing online to research about it. Like I remember when 9/11 first happened, you could go on YouTube and watch every single goddamn conspiracy from every angle. You see how they took that away. Horrible thing, man. I will press a nose, no peace. You got any more on that?
And there is no judgment in their goings.
Say it again.
And there is no judgment in their goings.
Listen, man, there's no judgment in their goings. They don't have a conscience. They don't have the inner awareness to judge what's happening around them logically, or not so much logically, but righteously. It is impossible for them to make those calculations. It's impossible for them to do it. That's why blacks and Hispanics are so goddamn confused with regards to our government. We don't know nothing about what's going on with the government. You ask the average black person on the street, is the government corrupt? They're going to say yes. They're going to say yes. We all agree that there's corruption in the government. We are all powerless to do anything about it.
Right.
We don't understand half the stuff that's going on. I remember when Barack Obama was first running for president, Jimmy Kimmel, or one of them late night shows, they went out and they did a test. They was interviewing people and repeating all of Romney's policies and telling them that it was Obama's policies, and they was agreeing with it. Like, yeah, we should do that. They don't know what the hell is going on in politics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like black people, when I hear black people complaining online about Trump and Biden, I be thinking to myself, like, what the hell does it matter to you? What does it matter? Like, was Biden going to suddenly come along and do something great for black people? How many goddamn years have we waited around for some great white man to come along and do something great for black people? It's never going to happen. It's never, ever going to happen. One white man cannot do anything great for black people. Every black man has to do something great for black people every single goddamn day, man. That's what we do here in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. Get that ahead, man. Right. Last thing we got to bring up about 9/11, this last horrible conspiracy, a conspiracy that touched me personally, is the fact that 20 goddamn years later, there were still people dropping dead in this city from radiation poisoning and cancer from 9/11. Like, how the hell is that possible? I had a friend whose mother, man, we grew up with each other our whole lives, man. She passed away. She worked in the World Trade Center. All the years that we knew her, we knew she worked in the World Trade Center, man. She was in the first bombing in 93. She ended up dying from cancer due to radiation poisoning in 9/11. You know what I'm saying? We see commercials about it on TV. If you've suffered from radiation poisoning due to 9/11 exposure, call such and such. How's that possible? How's that possible? Under what other circumstances have the demolition, the demolition of a building caused people to be dying from cancer and radiation poisoning years and years later?
Right.
It's a horrible thing, man. You bet not ever say nothing about the ISUPK calling our oppressor the devil the Bible speaks of. Right. He's a goddamn liar.
Damn right.
It's a goddamn lie what they tell us would happen downtown. I don't know what the truth is, but I know that they goddamn lying.
Right.
It ain't no way in hell those people are dying from cancer 20 goddamn years later. It's a horrible thing, man. And it goes to show that regardless of who our oppressor tells us we're at war with, he is always at war with us. The scriptures say there will be wars and rumors of wars, man. In both cases, we are the enemies to our oppressor, man. It's a horrible thing, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Clap it up. Y'all by shimmy shot with a thumb to the brothers. Y'all shimmy a thumb. By shimmy shot to the sisters. Once again, I am the mountain of the Most High Priest and Officer, Harya Allah. Make sure you go onto TikTok. Check me out, HQ_Harlem. We popping it off. Also, let_it_be_no_ podcast on TikTok. Check us out. We are popping. Check out Let It Be Known on YouTube. It's going down, man. Every single Sunday at 4. The priests and prophets are in the building. Make sure you tune in to Cross the Line as well. Thursdays at 10. I'm going to get up out of here, man. Commander General Yohana's about to be in the building. America on Fire coming on shortly. Make sure you check him out. Shalom.